What's up, my precious little pack, and welcome back to VEGA Conflict. Well, first off, I'm going to kick it off by taking out the little fleet. And I'm going to show something off real quick that's extremely simple to keep your repair time down when you're fighting AI fleets. And this is intuitive for just about every single one of them, and it can be implemented against every AI fleet. The reason it can be done is just because most of them are the same setup in the same tier, but when you go up a tier you get stronger ships, you have to step up to be able to fight the next group. This is only a cruiser setup, and the cruiser's the first one I have tier 3 you're going to be able to get your hands on. And the Midgard carrier, which is another thing you're going to be able to get very easily as you farm. But I just wanted to show this off real quick. This is a simple setup for your fleet so you can just strafe backwards and literally just walk away while they do their job. And I would just like to say thank you for any and all support on the VEGA series, and the reason I stepped back online today was because a lot of people were saying that it was a good hit for the attack earlier. Well, the people that did, and somebody else wanted to see more VEGA, so here's a bit more VEGA. And wait, oh my god, I'm actually piloting my own ships. Not really. Initial setup's done, I more or less just watch. The only thing I majorly do is shift them so that the enemy is towards the middle, so that the main one keeps their attention. And now the easy part for battleships, just rush them down. Because most of them will turn to do that when you're coming head on at them, and that gives you the first strike. And gone. And that's only a 5 level above fleet with 1 Mark IV, so you should be able to easily farm this up in the lower tier stuff. And every time one of the Raider supply runs starts, you should easily be able to get what you need. But that was just quickly hitting that one. I'll take it up against a 40 and see how well it fares after I quickly go back for repair time. And along with that, the next set of ships I'm going to be setting up are going to be Nighthawks, my favorite little frigates. And I'm going to do an entire frigate fleet just because they don't need the carrier. They can strafe quickly enough to begin with, and you can equip them with enough bypass weaponry that you could destroy a ship under its shielding with them without having to actually destroy the shielding of the ship. And exactly what weapon am I going to use? Well, that's fairly easy. Let's go over here. Let's go to my blueprints. It's one that we all farmed up. Let's go projectile and ship only. Where you at, little wave driver? Right here. Just for the extra shield bypass, we're going to equip a few of them on them because they're lightweight for the ships. And you're more or less just going to fit what you can. Let's see the repair time. 8 minutes. Guess what? Nope. Less than that. All free repair time across the board. And I just want to say, I'm going to do a little bit more on tutorial-wise and stuff like that. I'm going to step into the lower tier yet again even further. And I'm going to replay a few of the things. I'm going to replay my frigates. I'm going to learn to use them all over again because they are truly respectably good ships. And the reason that they were gotten rid of is beyond me. They were fun ships when you could actually play them. But that's about it. Raiders against Raiders. Let's see. Where's level 40 cargo? I want to hit the cargo first. 540 right there. Now this is only 2 levels above, so this is going to be a lot harder, so I should take a lot more damage. But let's set it off and let's see just what happens. They should make it in time. Nope, they're gonna miss it, so I'll tag it and I'll find another one.
Engaging target. Engaging.
Alright, so, and the loot you get for these ones is Thermal Beam 3 and stuff like that. I used higher tier ships because I bypassed most of it. But there's also Gladius Driver 3, Metaphase Shields, and all of that. But this is the hands-on approach. If you don't want to use an auto-farming fleet or anything like that, you don't want to have to do major setup, you want to use higher tier ships to farm as you progress. And you can replace the Thermal Beam 3 with the level 5 Disruptor Ray. Or if you really want to try, you can actually equip them with the... what is it? The Polaron Ray? I'm gonna have to check the name of it. Yeah, I think it's the Polaron Ray. But it's researchable weaponry, all of it. But the objective is more or less just take down your targets ahead of you as quickly as possible. And these are the same fittings I showed before. Light shielding, heavy armor. And rush the 2 and see if you can get your carrier to go after just that one. And frigates would be a lot more efficient at mopping up these guys because they do increased damage versus battleships and destroyers. And just like that, well, 40 gone. And yes, I open the cargo for anyone to take, so if anyone's in the sector and you're like sitting by it, waiting for me to say something, I don't talk that much in chat, so if you actually want it, when I open it up like that, you can have the cargo. But other than that, I'm going to slowly pick it up and hit, and I'll do coverage of the Planet Strike starting tomorrow, as soon as it's live. And I don't have any of the impulse beams, nor do I think they'd be useful. Actually, it just depends on their range. 3,400, 70 DPS. I'll have to test it and see. I'll probably put it on destroyers and find out because it's got a respectable range. Oh yeah, let's actually go back to the base. Let's take a look at the weapon I was referring to before. It is the Polaron Ray. But it's for the range specifically because you can push it way out there, and it's got very, very lightweight. So you can easily put it on your ships, and it never misses just because its shots auto-target and readjust in flight. So you always hit the target. It has a low damage, but it's always guaranteed damage. And the thermal beams, they're the same. They're a shorter range, only by a few hundred meters. But I intend on doing tutorial type things as I go along. There'll be hands-on. It'll be players that actually play and they don't just auto-farm everything. Because it's time for me to reconnect with the game because I've been auto-farming everything. Well, mostly. Some of it I actually go in and fight. And it's either going to be low repair time or no repair time. 14 seconds, that's acceptable. I think that was the only ship that took a long repair time. But I'm going to do different low-level fittings to help low levels get into the higher tier stuff. I'm going to test to see what goes against what and how easily it goes against it. Look, that only one ship. And I focused on keeping the repair time fairly low, but keeping the damage as high as I could get it per ship due to weight limitations. And damage and health and stuff like that, it's not the best. It could be a little bit more well optimized, as well as the fact that I didn't put resistors on any of them, but you could easily drop armor and put a resistor on. The main resistor, I would say, since you take the most energy damage because you can't dodge it, and projectiles and explosives have a chance of missing, I would say put either an explosive resistor or an energy resistor on your ship. Energy would be the better of the two because energy tends to hit your ship more often just because it has the higher speed than anything else. But that's going to be it for this one. It was just showing off a simple, easy way to use Tier 3 ships to farm just about any tier if you're careful. And you could easily readjust these and equip them with strafe thrusters, with the exception of the carrier. Equip it with a rear thruster, which is all researchable. And you can move the fleet a little bit more quickly backwards, as well as increase the top speed forwards of the carrier by an additional 20 meters per second, which will allow it to get a little bit further out and allow you to move a little bit more quickly. And the other thing you're going to need is interceptor wings, well, the interceptor squadrons for the small carrier, and it's unarmored just like the others. It's only got shielding because it has a decent amount of health to begin with, but the point was to keep the repair time down, so I did that. But that's going to be it for this. I hope you all enjoyed, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.